What's going on? What's going on, fellas?
Chilling, man. Happy to have you on for round two on the hop on the podcast, man. And like I said, happy New Year to everybody out there, man, in the building, man. So how you feeling, man? 2022 is upon us. The last couple of years, it seems like a blur with everything going on in the world and everything like that. But how you feeling entering the new year?
Oh, I feel good. You know what I'm saying? It's always a new year, top of the year, where you optimistic about a lot of things, and we got a lot of cool things coming out of 1501 this year. So I'm excited about it.
Dope.
That's what's up, man. Talk about some of your new artists out there, man. I know you obviously been in the game for quite a while now. Who you got? Who's new on the roster that we should be looking out for?
I have a new girl artist named by the name of Martina Marie. She sings and rap. She's from Ohio. Another artist by the name of D. Raw. He's from Houston as well. Another artist by the name of Stunner Bam from Houston. And one more artist named Smoothie. He's out of East Texas. So we got a couple of new things coming up this year.
What made you want to transition from being a MLB star to getting into music and getting into the managerial side of music? What inspired that?
Just being from Houston and seeing our culture. We have a rich rap culture here in Houston. You know, from Swisher House, um, Swisher House to Rap a Lot to things that we had. You know, from SUC Quick. We had a lot of indie labels here that left a mark on me growing up, and I always thought it was special and wanted to be a part of that.
Let's go back a little bit, man, because the last time we did an interview, we didn't really get too much of your backstory. So if you don't mind, take us back to growing up, I think Fifth Ward in
Right.
Houston. How was your
Uh,
childhood?
just like anybody else from over there, opportunities aren't that much. So you try to focus on something that you're good at. Me, my thing was sports. I happen to play all three sports real well, so I continued to focus on that. Just so I wouldn't have to, always deal with the things that was around me daily. And I didn't get discouraged about my surroundings. I just always felt like it was something better to come out of me just staying positive and playing sports. So I stuck with that and was able to make it in baseball, and the rest is just pretty much history.
Now, what made you choose, or did it choose you? Baseball. What made you choose?
Baseball.
Yeah.
Oh well, I ended up getting drafted out of high school, so I had a scholarship, and I was one of the top quarterbacks in the nation in 1999, and
Mhm.
I signed with Nebraska to go play football. But the June was in draft before school started in August, so I got drafted. Ended up getting a $1.5 million signing bonus as a 17-year-old, and I had to go. That was a no-brainer for me. I had to go where the money was.
You don't really, I mean, well, you see a lot of like prime athletes that play both football and baseball in particular. How do the two sports correlate so well together? How do you see so many good athletes play both sports so well?
Because I think that you can just really play both sports well. Like naturally, if you're a football player, I think you can play baseball. So basketball is like the sport. Well, you have to only do that. You know what I'm saying? All year long. If you really want a chance to make it in the NBA or something like that. But a lot of times you hear guys who can play football. They can play baseball as well.
Indeed.
Oh, did you think that it was a possibility of you going to the NFL? Was that one of your aspirations as well?
Yeah, NFL, NBA, MLB, I didn't care. I just wanted to give myself every opportunity. Finally, my senior year in high school, I finally realized I couldn't play three professional sports and had to give up basketball because I wanted to, still have a chance at, two sports to give myself a chance. And so I gave up basketball in the middle of the year, my senior year, and to focus on baseball. And, so that was that.
Now, I heard you telling the story. You was talking about baseball, and did you start off in the minors first, and did you
Right.
transition? Okay.
Yeah, everybody goes to the minor leagues. When you get drafted, you go to the minor leagues. I went straight to rookie ball as soon as I got drafted. I stayed there half a season. Then you go to A ball, then double A, then triple A, then to the major leagues. So it's nothing nobody can skip. Everybody has to go through it.
Now, the conditions that you were going through, obviously, you said the minors obviously is different than the majors, but you said growing up in Houston, kind of help you deal with, all those
Right.
different cities and different
Getting
eating.
ready for it, just like the bad conditions, you know what I'm saying? And even then, it was still a step up. Like it
Right.
wasn't as bad for me. I talked to my son who's like, his conditions of living was better than mine growing up, so he has something to worry about. But like for me, just kind of, always having bad conditions. When I got to minor leagues, it wasn't as bad for me as it was might have been for somebody else, who was new to it.
Indeed. Well, you up for the Hall of Fame this year, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, I got nominated, so that was a big honor for me. Hopefully I get in one of these days, but definitely to start my career and to end up to where I'm even getting nominated was just a huge accomplishment for me.
Talk about that a little bit, because as a black baseball player and like coming right off of almost like in the steroid era, but coming right off it, always being a clean player, doing what you did in a 15-year career. And now you got people in judging your body of work to see if you were worthy of the Hall of Fame. Talk about that
Yeah,
feeling and just the emotion wrapped around that.
oh well, when it's not that many black players in the league, the numbers is going down. To be able to be successful and have a chance to be into the Hall of Fame, to be remembered as a black player, to be able to inspire other youth, other black players coming up. It's good to see somebody that actually did it before you. So that I'm hoping that I can inspire others to do what I did as well. But definitely just one of those things where you knew that playing the game. It wasn't that many of you, so you had to try to leave your mark and all that type of stuff because it's a white sport, and you'll get forgotten quick if you're not nobody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Speaking of that,
Mhm.
black quarterbacks in the NFL, I want to talk to you about that. Since you was a quarterback as well. I heard you telling the story as well about living in Boston and hearing a lot of racial slurs. We're close to like the Philly, so we kind of see like how the media goes crazy. How do you feel about black quarterbacks in the NFL? And do you think that they're over scrutinized in comparison to their white counterparts?
I don't know if they over scrutinize. I just think that it's a bunch of them coming. You know what I'm saying? And people probably back in the past didn't think black quarterbacks couldn't play the position, wasn't as smart or whatever the case may be. But now it's starting. The game is changing, and you're starting to realize that at some point probably every team's gonna have a black quarterback. So that's just the way it is. But they coming at a rapid pace. They doing real well. I feel bad for our quarterback here in Houston that's going through what he's going through, but pretty sure when he gets back on the field, he's gonna be great as well. So I like the emergence of the black quarterback, and I just hope that they continue to be dominant, and play well and set the example for other athletes to come behind them.
Do you know Jalen Hurts, quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles? He's from
Oh,
Houston.
Yeah, he's from Houston. They talk about him a lot around here. I've never met him or nothing like that, but I know
Okay.
he went to a real good high school here in North Shore. So he is a legendary person here around Houston, and he's I see he's doing well, and I know in college he had like some issues where he had to transfer and stuff like
Mhm.
that. But glad to see that he's on the team and representing the black quarterback well.
talk about the transition from, like I said, MLB to the music, 1501 certified. Did you think it was going to be as crazy as it's been, the roller coaster ride that you've been through? Did you think it was going to be like that?
Nah, I didn't think, when you athletes, man, and we feel like we can overcome or do anything once we put our mind to it. So, you heard the stories about it, you hear the horror stories about it, but I thought I positioned myself, set myself up well to avoid a lot of that stuff. But it's the music industry. It is what it is, man. It's it's a bad place, I wouldn't advise nobody to come over here. But since I was hard headed and didn't listen, I'm dealing with what I have to deal with, and it's all good because you live and you learn.
Now you come in independent as an
Right.
independent label. Did you think that you would have to deal with the machine as much as you had to deal with it coming in
Uh,
independent?
nah, not really. Like I said, I had the key players, and I had to. Um, I felt like I had the things I needed to succeed, and I actually did. I just ran into a serious roadblock. Once it was like, because you see athletes do this stuff all the time, and but they fail. And
Mhm.
it was all good long as I was trying and wasn't making nothing happen. The moment that I made something happen, it was like, oh hell, oh no, it became a problem. You know what I'm saying? But I thought, my silly self, I thought that they actually wanted to see like progress, like athletes, you know what I'm saying, crossing over, doing things, you know what I'm saying, because so many people from that lane come to the sports side and want to be agents and do all that stuff in sports. So I figured that we can cross over and do things that they do too as well. But I learned that they don't want athletes in that over there at all. They want us to stay where we at, you
Mm.
know. Yeah. Yeah.
The music business as compared to the sports business. Is it? I mean, business is business, obviously, but
Right.
what lesson have you learned moving over from sports to music?
Just music, like I say, moving over to music is just everything is so chaotic. Nothing is true. Everything in sports is lined up. If you sign a contract, that's what you do. You have to abide by it. You know what I'm saying? Everything is structured right here. Like nothing is like what it seems. It's like you can say something, you can agree to something, and you can just say no, I'm not gonna do it, and stuff happens. Like you can it's always wiggle room to try to get out of something in the music, instead of like honoring stuff like so. It's just a different. It's just a little more cutthroat, a little more grimier, and you just have to be well equipped to deal with it.
Y'all got such an incredible melting pot of artists and talent down there in the state of Texas and the city of Houston. Do you travel outside of Houston to look for talent, or is Houston where you primarily are going to stay to produce your artists and your talent?
Nah, I just wanted to start off in Houston. Now I've been kind of moving outside of Houston. Like my artists that I've been having, like a couple of them, they not even from Houston. So it seemed like, um, you know, they not from Houston, but they're like from like right outside of Houston, inside out in the country towns in Texas or something like that. But I do want to expand at some point and just keep on expanding. It's just that early on when you're dealing with artists, you have to be so close to them as I am because I don't trust people. I like to be able to like be close to them. So the only way I'm be able to close is if they from Houston or somewhere close by in Texas or something like that.
Gotcha.
Talk about Erica Banks. Talk about
Hmm.
her success.
Oh well, Erica is one of those things where she came from Dallas, like I said, right outside of Houston. I had to go up the street and grab her,
Right.
and she had a song called "Bust It" that she played on my live for me, and I ended up liking it. Felt like I knew what to do with it. She's from Texas, so she had that Texas aggression style that I like, and she just fit what we was trying to do at the moment really well.
From a marketing standpoint, that joint went crazy. I think that was right around
Yeah.
the time I really paid attention to TikTok, that busted challenge. Everybody started doing it and
Yeah, man.
other
Yeah,
stuff.
that was one of one of the best TikTok challenges I think. We was able to get that sample cleared by Nelly, that Hidden Hill sample, and we just went with it, and it did well, and the TikTok definitely took us over the top, and like I say, just one of those things where our hard work paid off. We got lucky and got that TikTok thing going.
Now, you the president of 1501, you the CEO. How much like groundwork or grunt work are you doing paying attention to the marketing, like the TikToks, and paying attention to the artist development and finding the artists? How many hands do
Yeah.
you have in the pot of 1501?
Oh well, yeah, I have a staff of like 8 people, and we all, try to stay grounded, stay intact of all the little new things that might be happening for us, like TikTok or how they switching things up, or different ways we can promote our artists or develop them. So we always trying to stay ahead of the cutting edge stuff that might like give us the edge and blow our artists up, 'cause that's the main thing. But definitely, I'm hands on. I'm a day-to-day person. I deal with the artist directly, and we always trying to find the edge to get better.
Right. Who's somebody of the I heard you telling the story, but I didn't hear the name. When you first started 1500, you wanted to sign some artists. Who were some of the artists, if you can't name them, that you tried to sign who for whatever reason turned you down?
Houston,
Yeah.
all of them are. Yeah, I tried to sign. If you know any of the local Houston artists, you'll know I tried to sign Fast Lane. He's here. He's with 300 right now. Lil Jeremy, I think he's with Lil Baby. I try to sign Sauce Walker. You know what I'm saying? He's here. That was just a couple of names. You know, Ken the Man. You know, girls, all of them. like I try to sign pretty much everybody that you see got something going on here.
Has this experience that you've dealt with 1501 and everything that you dealt with the last couple of years motivated you more or kind of made you look at this thing completely different in the industry, getting in it the way you wanted to get in it compared to what's going on right now?
I think a little bit of both. You know what I'm saying? But it definitely motivates me in a way that it kind of like sucker punch me. You know what I'm saying? So as a like a real like proud person, and you know what I'm saying? You always want to try to like you always just want to try to like get that feeling up out of you. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the what is it? The industry kind of sucker punched me a little bit because I was, so naive and didn't know a lot. You know what I'm saying? To where it just motivated me to want to just be my best.
Oh, we lost you.
Uh-oh. Oh yeah, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, like I say, it just the way I feel like I got sucker punched. It felt like it just motivated me to be my best version, be the best version of 1501 that we can be. You know.
Right now, I heard you. You probably did an interview a couple of weeks ago. I was listening to it. You were talking about obviously Jayz, and you were talking about how you guys had to go, as you call him, Little Jay, but we know him as Jay Prince. You
Right.
said that it was a possibility that if Jay Prince, you didn't get Jay Prince, that they was going to take everything from you, Rock Nation.
Oh yeah, yeah. If I hadn't got involved with Jay, this we wouldn't be here. It's already been over with. You know, they probably would have already. You know, that machine would have already took over. You know, and shoot, everything would have probably been history by now. I'd hate to see where the state of 1501 would have been at. You know, had I not known Jay Prince.
Now, how's that even possible, though? In the business, as much as you could tell us, how could somebody that you have signed, somebody just come in and just, pretty much leave you with nothing if they could?
Well, because they just come in, they find one little thing wrong, and then they say, "Oh, you wasn't doing this right. You wasn't honoring your contract. We're trying to get the contract voided." Then they take you to court, you know what I'm saying, where they bossed up at and they run everything pretty much, and they get everybody to kind of like, and then the judges rule against you. It's gone, just that simple. So, it's just one of those things to where, you're dealing with some powerful people, man, and, making turned into a star. So, of course, they want that, you know what I'm saying? And they'll get it by any means necessary, and especially if they ain't got to pay to get it, they gonna go that way to get it.
Now, you are fortunate enough to know Jay Prince, and then it kind of shows people that the importance of relationships, in particular in this industry, and we see that kind of firsthand. If you don't got good relationships, a lot of doors aren't opening for you. A lot of circles aren't getting in if you don't have certain relationships. So talk about the importance of that, of having like a Jay Prince in your corner where a lot of people don't, and the impact that you see that he has in the music industry.
I'm sorry, you kind of went out. You said, what's the importance of having Jay?
Oh, yeah, my apologies. I said having the importance of someone like a Jay Prince as far as a relationship, having him in your corner to kind of get into
Well, yeah, it's definitely important because, like I say, man, like I'm new to the industry, so I don't know none of these people or whatever. So whenever it's time, if people want to take advantage of you or try to like steal your artists and stuff like that, then you have to, it's good to know somebody that can give them a call and kind of reason with them or whatnot. Like I said, shoot, they never wanted to find out if I was like a good guy or whatever I had going on. They just believed all the stories about whatever and came in for the kill. So, like I said, you know what I'm saying.
If you cut out, brother.
Jay, they both have a relationship together, so I guess they was able to kind of talk and 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 come to a conclusion of, well, things they didn't have to do, they had to stop what they was doing.
Now, for somebody like us, man, we look at the industry, we look at somebody like Jay-Z, and to a sense, we idolize him. Not to stay on Jay too long, but when you see that this is his company, Rock Nation, and how they pretty much try to strong arm you, does it make you look at him and other industry execs differently?
It definitely makes me just look at all that stuff different because at the end of the day, I've never had an encounter with Jay-Z, you know. So it sucks that my first encounter is,
Right.
you know, them trying to take something from you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, sorry,
Mhm.
it's like, it's like fuck, man. You look up to these people all your life because you listen to their music and you do all this stuff, and you like, yo, this dude cool, you know, because they fucking like we from Houston, so you know what I'm saying. We definitely hear your music, your wife music, and all that stuff, and we grow up, you know, praising you. So then all of a sudden, my first encounter is like, damn, another black man trying to take something. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, why me? Shit, I don't understand, you know, because it could have easily been worked out to where we all was happy. But it's like for some reason they wanted to just knock me out of the fold, you know. And I never understand that. Far as like, you know, all this black power talk and this righteousness that we all supposed to be acting like because of, you know, stuff that's going on in the world. And I'm like, well, shit, y'all try to take something from another black man. You try to bring another black man down. So I really don't believe none of that bullshit they be talking. But you know, whatever.
Right. I want to ask you one
Yeah.
more question. For the people who don't know, we talked to you a year ago about this.
One
Update the
second.
people on. All right.
Hey, hey, go. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm
We
getting a
good,
little
man.
hot
You
right
good,
there.
brother?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
What's that?
I was saying, for the people who don't know, update them on the situation, with Megan Thee Stallion and Rock Nation right now. I think I know it, but can you tell the audience who don't know where you guys are currently at with the situation?
Oh, we still in court. You know, we fighting in court behind contract issues where you know we're trying to figure out like um um you know, we just still in court. I have to like watch how I
Yeah,
say
no
things.
problem.
You
Yes,
know
sir.
what I'm saying? Because we still in court, and they will take these interviews that I do and break down every little bitty thing and use it against me in court. So I have to like be careful what I say in these interviews. But at the same time, we still in court. We've been in court for almost 3 years. You know, and it's all like just to kind of. I don't even understand it at this point. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Because you know it's like wow. You know, it's only to just kind of it's kind of like a dick slanging penis contest to see who got the most money or whatever. Like you can just drag a person out, you know, and you know what I'm saying. It's clear to like drag me out to, I guess, till I quit or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know. I know that's how they do business though.
Indeed, what a kind of what fun to watch you be drafted to the Tampa Bay Rays and then to go through your baseball career and to watch you become a CEO. You've been a true inspiration as a brother to another brother to watch your growth, and even the nonsense that you deal with is still an inspiration to watch you do what you do, man. And so salute to you. I wanted to ask you about baseball real quick because I guess one of the biggest pathways to where you are right now came through baseball. You don't see a lot of us, our people playing baseball anymore. You don't see a lot of the young men and young women out there trying to play baseball. My son's a left-hander, and he had a couple scouts that I live near like, yo, you should get your son in the pitch, and he can throw. He's a good quarterback in football. He don't want to touch it. How do we get kids like motivated to play baseball, especially ours?
Man, well, I don't know. The thing that I could say, like, just go show him Mookie Betts' contract right now. You know what I'm saying? Like he plays for the Dodgers right now.
Mm-hmm.
Go show him his contract right now. You go show him like my contract back in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like of course you know it's like you know they have to see other people out there that they playing and you have to be coaches. But what motivated me was walked in the store one day and saw Carl Everett. You know what I'm saying? Sign this big contract for like $50 million in like the early '90s, you know. So that's
Yeah.
kind of like what stuff like that. And I know it ain't all about the money. A kid have to love to play it, but at the same time, it's just, I really don't think they understand like how much money is there involved. And it's not a lot of black people there. So if you have any type of like ability, like you're gonna stand out. The only way you could, you know, play in the big leagues if you black, you know,
Yeah.
you have to be an all star, you know. So it's like no average players there, you know, that's black. So that's a shame too as well. But at the end of the day, I always feel like, if you're good in football, you should be playing baseball. Even if you not good yet, you should just play. Like, my kids played both as well because they wanted to be like me. But they you just have to put them into it, and even then it's gonna be phases where I feel like all black kids, once they get to high school, there's some coach there that's just about to make them quit or something. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
they have to
Yeah.
fight through a lot of stuff and just,
Mhm.
stick with it. Because like I say, I feel like they with the Latin player merging, they go over there and get those guys for cheap and those, you know what I'm saying? They make a lot of money off those players. Um, man, we can do the same thing up over here.
Facts.
Give advice to people who come into a lot of money, because I heard you say one day you pretty much went from zero to having like $1 million deal. Give some advice to young rappers, people coming into young money, or a lot of money young. What do you think? How did you move? How did you
Just
move?
gotta, hey, look, I did what any typical 17-year-old did, man. My hand was burning with the bread. You know what I'm saying? I went crazy. I come straight out the hood, out of Fifth Ward, so I
Right.
literally went from broke to a millionaire in a day. So, but luckily enough for me, financial people reached out to me. They knew I was gonna get drafted and stuff like that. So I had an accountant, a person who showed me how to, save my money, do my taxes. You know what I'm saying, and just pretty much save and don't like when you have that urge to just want to ball out and spend, just do it little by little until you get work your way up or make get a bigger contract, get a bigger salary, and then you can spend more and just live safe.
It was a movie I was watching on Netflix. I can't remember the name right now, but it was about a college football star. He was like the top recruit, and he led like this whole boycott. He wanted all the players to boycott the national championship game because he broke down how everybody was making money except for the college athletes. Right? It's a real good movie. How do you feel about colleges and as people call it, free labor? Do you feel like people in college should get paid? How you feel about that whole thing?
Well, I mean, definitely the football players, basketball as well. But like I say, they draw in a lot of money. Like the football
Yeah.
players, they draw in so much. It's like, where does all that money go? Like, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? You have to give them something.
Right.
If they can't play, like for me, basketball, I like to see the kids coming out of high school and get a chance to go to the NBA. Out of high school. So if you taking that away from them, yeah, you need to give them something. You know what I'm saying? But I'm all for the college kids getting paid, even though I know it probably changed the game a little bit. It's just they make so much money. You should. It's just like you need to share it. That's what I feel like.
I was looking at this documentary now that you mentioned it on the Arizona sports scandal. I don't know if you've seen that, the basketball where they were gambling and doing all kind of wild stuff over there in the early 90s. Talk about gambling in sports, man. How crazy is that?
I don't know too much about gambling in sports because I never gambled. I never been around people that was gambling. All I know is about Pete Rose when he was gambling in baseball. You know what I'm saying? And I like Pete Rose. I think they should let him back in. But I guess it's just so people really be addicted to it. I never gamble. I never really like to gamble too much because I didn't like losing my money. But I realized there are some real live people who have addictions to it and they just can't help themselves.
Yeah, facts.
As a former professional athlete now, when you see somebody like AB, when you seen that situation with the Buccaneers, how did that make you feel when you seen that? A lot of people spoke out about it. How'd you feel?
Cause I mean, at some point when I see stuff like that, man, I just be like, man, like somebody need to just go, just check them out. You know what I'm saying? See,
Yeah.
be all right before you just get the like, saying this, cutting them off and all that type of stuff. I know they do some weird stuff, but at some point in time, all this kind of stuff, like, you might want to just, check the brother out and just make sure everything is okay.
Do you ever did you ever experience a situation or have a situation like that where you maybe had a disagreement with a coach or anything, and do you think that there's something wrong with him for doing what he did? Because some people say you should stand up for yourself if he had an issue with the coach. You think he went too
Yeah,
far?
now I can't lie. That's one of the craziest things I ever seen. But I can't talk about his situation. Me personally, I've never had an issue with a manager where I had to like do that. Now you have misunderstandings with managers from time to time, but normally you kind of like keep it in house where the fans and stuff don't really know about it, and you kind of handle it, you know, kind of handle it inside, and go from there. But hey, in today's world with social media and all that crazy stuff, man, it's just different. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's just different.
Let me ask you this real quick. This will be my last question. Definitely appreciate your time. I'm a Washington fan, football fan. I know it hurts, but I seen a couple weeks ago, Big Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen got into it on the sidelines after getting beat up pretty bad in the game. They got into it, and that got everybody. How often does that happen? I know we got to see it live on camera on national TV, but how does that happen, brothers?
Now that type of stuff happens all the time. You know what I'm saying? But you just don't see it, and it be on the inside. Like it's just it's like a long season, 25 to 50 guys. Like something's gonna happen at some point in time, especially if the team is losing. Now, if the team is winning, it ain't as bad. You might have little scuffles here and there, but especially baseball. Hey, listen, we 162 games, sitting next to guys all day long. Like, you tight. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna explode here now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you just you try to treat everything like a family. If you got a good manager that kind of get the troops back on one page, and just remember why we there to play sports and win games and stuff like that.
Indeed.
What's next for you, man? Let the people know what's next.
Nigga said, oh God, you the man, Cass. I spit white like a clan mask, and I'm a hustler. I could stand out on the beach and sell sandbags. Some things can't last, but this ain't just a podcast. This is Sam Ant and Oh God Cass. Hip hop uncensored is the vibe, so subscribe. Hip hop uncensored is the vibe, so subscribe. Oh God, driving Sam Ant riding passenger side, and you heard it out the mouth of the greatest rapper alive. Hip hop uncensored is the vibe, so subscribe. Hip hop uncensored is the vibe, so subscribe. Oh God, driving Sam Ant riding passenger side, and you heard it out the mouth of the greatest rapper alive. Go gang.